Today, we are diving into a massive challenge for modern HR professionals, the sheer volume of communication you have to handle. I mean, from building an employer brand to just keeping up with internal emails, the demand for really high-quality content is just exploding. So how do you keep up? Well, we're going to break down exactly how by matching the right AI tool to the right job. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to really define this new communication challenge that HR is facing. Then we'll introduce a concept we call the HR AI Toolkit. After that, we get really specific. We'll look at a tool called Jasper for branding and another called Copy.ai for emails. And we'll wrap it all up with what is honestly the most important rule of all, the partnership between AI and humans. So first things first, let's really get a handle on the core problem we're trying to solve here. Because the truth is, the very nature of the HR role is changing right under our feet. It's moving way beyond administrative work into something much, much more strategic. Does this feel a little too real? Suddenly your job isn't just about policies and payroll anymore. Nope. Now you're also expected to be a brand ambassador, a top-tier copywriter, and an internal comms guru all rolled into one. It's a huge shift, and believe me, it's a pain point for so many professionals out there. And here's exactly why this is happening. As AI starts to handle more of the routine, administrative stuff, it actually frees up HR leaders to focus on the truly human side of the business. Building culture, engaging employees, telling the company's story. But here's the catch. All of that amazing strategic work demands absolutely top-notch communication skills. So how in the world do we meet this new demand? Well, that brings us to the solution, what we call the HR and AI Toolkit. And the key idea here, the most important thing to remember, is that not all AI is the same. It is all about using the right tool for the right job. We call this the HR plus AI Toolkit. The best way to think about it is like a carpenter's toolbox. You wouldn't use a hammer to saw a piece of wood, right? Of course not. Well, the same exact logic applies here. A one-size-fits-all approach, like just using a general chatbot for everything, isn't always your best bet. The real power comes from using specialized tools for specialized tasks. Now, this is a great way to visualize the toolkit. You've got broader tools like ChatGPT, perfect for things like policy documents. You even have amazing video tools like Synthesia, but for today, we're really going to zero in on those two right in the middle. Jasper for all your external employer branding and Copy.ai for your internal communications. All right, let's drill down into our first specialized tool, Jasper. This is your go-to, your secret weapon, whenever you need to speak to the world outside the walls of your company. Honestly, the best way to think of Jasper is as your employer branding co-pilot. It's really built from the ground up with a marketing brain, which is exactly the mindset you need to attract the best talent out there. So where does it really shine? Well, Jasper is a marketing-focused AI from the get-go. It just excels at crafting that compelling, persuasive content you need for employer branding. We're talking social media campaigns, recruitment marketing materials, all that copy for your careers page that's designed to convince top talent that your company is the place they want to be. And here's a perfect real-world example. You could ask Jasper to generate a whole series of LinkedIn posts that highlight your company's unique culture, and what you'll get back is marketing-savvy copy designed to actually engage with potential applicants. It's all about creating a distinct public voice. Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about the outside world, now let's go inside. If Jasper is your megaphone to the public, think of Copy.ai as your intercom for the team. It's all about streamlining internal communications. The way to think about Copy.ai is as your super fast, hyper-efficient writing assistant. Its real strength is speed and clarity for all of those internal messages that just keep the whole organization running smoothly. This is the tool you'll use day in and day out. You need to draft a clear announcement about benefits, or maybe a friendly onboarding email, a script for an all-hands meeting. Copy.ai is optimized for exactly these kinds of internal HR comms. And here's what that actually looks like in practice. Instead of spending hours writing and rewriting, you can generate an entire welcome email series for a new hire in just a few minutes. It handles the structure, the boilerplate stuff, so you can focus your time on adding those crucial personalized touches that make a new person feel welcome. Okay, so we've seen the tools, but now we have to talk about the single most important rule for using them effectively. This part right here is the big strategic takeaway of our whole conversation. This phrase says it all. AI creates and humans curate. See, this isn't about handing your job over to a machine. Not at all.
It's about forming a partnership where the AI does the heavy lifting and you provide the essential human oversight, the strategy, and the empathy.
This slide just lays out that partnership perfectly. On the one hand, you let the AI do what it does best: speed, processing data, and generating that first draft, which, by the way, can save you 60 to 70% of your writing time. That's huge. And your job, the human strength, is to provide what AI simply can't: ethical judgment, empathy, strategic thinking, and that all-important final personalized approval. So if you remember one thing, let it be this: use these tools to generate your first draft, not your final decision. They are incredible assistants for getting you started, for blasting through writer's block, and for saving massive amounts of time. But the final call, the final tone, the final human connection, that has to come from a person. And that leaves us with one final thought. We've talked about the challenge, and we've walked through a powerful new toolkit. The real question is, now that you know which tool to use for which job, how are you going to use this partnership to build a more efficient, a more engaging, and a more human-centered workplace? The potential is literally right there in your hands.